We traveled over to Warren Mott, and the Marauders made their way back to the MAC Red last season after a brief 2-year stint in the MAC White. Mott completed an up-and-down season with a 2-3 record in league play and a 5-5 overall record. This season, they want to prove once again that they belong in the MAC's top league.
Jack, come back!
We're cautiously optimistic, and we have some players, have some talent, some speed on defense, which we always look to try to establish. Number one, and number two, try to get some physicality going up front. We have some optimism right now.
Rip it! Keep coming!
Talk a little bit about last season, 5-4 record in the regular season. Some of the things that maybe went right for you guys in terms of last season, your first in the MAC Red.
Well, we were happy with how the kids battled, how they played, and competed. Obviously, every game they come out like we, would like. But the MAC Red's a highly competitive league, and you got to bring it every week. Otherwise, you'll have some difficulties. So, we're looking forward to the second year, in the alignment of the challenge to see if we can earn our right to stay up in there.
I feel like we were solid, most likely up front, but there were some aspects we can get better at. And we were well coached by our coaches. They did a good job in getting us right as far as playing in the MAC Red, because we know we're going to have competition.
We always talk to players probably just about, like everyone else does, talks about, winning your division and going to the playoffs, and then from there you want to try and win a district and move on from there. So nothing ever changes with that, but more importantly, we always talk about focusing on ourselves first and, worrying about each drill, each play of each practice, and then going into each game with the same mentality. So we're, just continue to do that day by day as opposed to worry about the scoreboard or, the overall schedule.
We definitely have a lot of speed all around, and it's going to help out a lot. We're all battling, and it's pushing each other for other starters. We're getting good scout looks, and it's making everyone better.
We have a lot of depth, a lot of skilled players. I feel like this year, out of all my 3 years, I feel like this is the best skill set that we have had since I've been here. We work hard, play as a team, as a family.
Jack him!
We have several returning players that did a great job for us last year up front, starting with MALACHI Taylor. He was a quite good nose guard and did some great things for us, so he's back this year. KYRAN Daniels will split time between safety and linebacker, and got a lot of postseason accolades. And Ty Redding is a heck of a corner and a Bowling Green commit. So we're looking forward to seeing those guys and then see some of the young guys we have coming up, fill around them. I think we have some talent. Offensive side of the ball starts, with Javon Wilson at running back. He's a heck of a running back, and he also plays safety and some outside backer for us on defense. And he's a very physical player. Runs hard, runs angry, and really like that. Chris Campbell is a heck of a player and anchors the offensive line. MALACHI will play some over on offensive line. Keyshawn Carter, our offensive lineman, does a nice good job for us. So we have some depth there as well.
As a team unit, where do you see Mott having the most strength?
I think so far I've seen that this team has a lot of unity and has gelled together fairly nicely so far. They seem to like each other. Some teams you have to work more at that. This team seems to have a little bit more of the camaraderie end down in a natural sense as opposed to having to groove it as a coaching staff. So we're looking forward to that. And I think they're a talented bunch, which is going to be necessary because we're going to play a heck of a lot of talent when it comes to the MAC Red. We just look to be competitive every week, week in, week out, and look to try to give our best effort. I think most weeks that if we give our optimal best effort, that'll be enough. It's a gauntlet. Every team in the MAC Red's tough. It's not like some other divisions where you might have a down team or two. I mean, I think across the board it's tough, and it's just anybody could win it. And obviously at the top you got Chip Valley, Dakota, Ike, Stevenson are the perennial MAC Red teams that are there all the time, and Lanscrews North is a prolific team as well, and has done some really nice things the last couple of years. So there's really no break any time in the schedule during the year.
Now, Coach Tom Milanoff of Warren Mott has really made huge strides for this program as a whole. He's been the head coach since 2000, but really this team's competing now in the MAC Red, and they beat some big boys.
Yeah, a couple of years ago when they moved up, a lot of people questioned the move and didn't know if Warren Mott, along with LCN, who we'll hear in a little bit, would make that smooth transition to the Red. Warren Mott has done a nice job. They've been very competitive in both their Red games and their crossovers. Last year had a solid season, and just like Stevenson, first year back in the Red and facing these teams, now they know what to expect week in and week out, and you don't know where their talent level is in comparables to some of those big teams that are projected at the top, but they could be one of those sleeper teams for sure.
Yeah, I'll never forget that game on our MTGA airwaves where they beat Dakota. It was kind of a program builder. Last season they forced double overtime with Eisenhower, so this is a team that can compete at the MAC Red and will probably more than likely stay there.
Yeah, and those type of games are confidence builders. I mean, as soon as you beat a team like Dakota in a regular season game, you start to think, well, we can play with anybody. And that can change your whole mindset throughout the year. And Warren Mott is definitely one of those teams. When we look at their schedule, they start off with Cody there, Brad, and then 2 games at home against Lansing, North Dakota. And then 2 more on the road, Lakeview, Chippewa Valley. And it's not an easy schedule for them.
No, but you have to like the fact that you begin MAC Red play at home against L'Anse Creuse North, one of those teams you're probably competing for in terms of spots in the MAC Red. But Coach Giannone mentioned it in our package that he's really looking forward to going into Warren Mott and playing on that real grass, as he put it. And those two will butt heads in week 2 of the MAC Red schedule.
Yeah, the coaches that used to play there used to obviously Coach Giannone he used to coach there years ago. So it's fun for them. Yeah, the back half of the schedule there, Stevenson, Eisenhower in the middle of October. And then they close out with Ford at home. But the big thing I look at is Warren Mott needs to get off to a good start. When you look at their schedule, they got Detroit Cody. We don't know a whole lot about them. We don't cover Detroit Cody. But if they could get a win in that first game, they come back and they've got L'Anse Creuse North at home. Well, if you start 2-0 by chance, going into that game against Dakota, that's going to give them supreme confidence going into that game.
Yeah, and that October 2nd game against Port Huron, these are 2 teams that are very familiar with each other. Port Huron's been a little bit of a stumbling block for Warren Mott. They used to compete in the MAC White together, and Port Huron actually cost them a perfect regular season and a MAC White title back in 2012. It's a Port Huron team that beat Mott last season 34-14, nearly costing them a playoff berth.
Yeah, so it should be an outstanding season for Mott. But you never know. You never know if they could be one of those sleeper teams. As we said, oftentimes you see a team that might, they finished 2-3 one year, then the next year they come back and maybe they go 4-1. So you never know. But Mott's definitely going to be in the mix.